All right, so I am starting this video series as a weekly check-in as I train for and prepare to hike the Grand Canyon. I am currently 15 weeks out from hiking the Grand Canyon, and so I wanted to just start documenting what I do, how I'm preparing for it, the training, nutrition, all that kind of stuff. I do a weekly check-in with myself. This is something that I started when I had a fitness coach, and we would do weekly check-ins, and I would send in all of my information and she would make tweaks and adjustments and that kind of thing. And so what I wanted to do is start doing these weekly video series where I'm just kind of doing the same thing, but making a video and sharing it with you here on YouTube. I did just complete a 75 days of yoga challenge. I'm going to make a video about that tomorrow, some of the results that I had with that. But one of the things that I did was I posted sort of my daily reflection about it on Instagram and Facebook. And I think I missed 3 days. I forgot to post. But what I think I'm going to do is one of the things I'm working on is how to create videos, how to make things, all that kind of stuff, doesn't matter. But what I think I'm going to do is start doing a daily video sort of mini vlog, just like a quick 2, 3, 5 minute video of just what I'm doing for the day, just depending on the thing. So maybe not necessarily related to training for the Grand Canyon, but just various, fitness, health and wellness, adventure topics. So I am 15 weeks out from training from hiking the Grand Canyon. I do have my eyes set on a fitness competition that I think, I have to go back and count, I think is 17 weeks after I do the fitness competition, or after I do the Grand Canyon. So it would be a fitness competition next spring. So I do have some tweaks that I have made to my training than I did the first time around. This is my second time hiking the Grand Canyon. This time around, I'm adding in much more weight training simply because I want to make sure to maintain the muscle that I have so that when I'm getting ready for the fitness competition, I have all the muscle that I need. Plus, training for the Grand Canyon, I'm building strength for the actual hike itself. So what I wanted to do is share with you sort of what I'm doing here. So I have a calendar. It's just one of those like free calendars I got from Phoenix Children's Hospital. So what I do is every day I log in there what I did for the day. And you can see I had a couple days off here. I had some medical procedures, so I just needed to take a few days off. But what I do is I write in there everything I did for that particular day. I keep this on my kitchen table. I used to keep it in the bathroom just so it was in a spot where I see it all the time. And so I'll do is I'll write on there what I did for that day. One thing I started doing in June is at the end of the week, I started tallying up how many miles I got for that particular week with hiking or walking. So what I'm doing for training for the Grand Canyon is I'm treating it much like a half marathon or triathlon training, where I add in about 10 to 12% of miles per week to try to help reduce the risk of injury. So if I got, like, for example, last week I got 10 miles in for the whole week. It was kind of a slower week, but if I were sort of building up that mileage, then I would add 10%. So I would add 1 mile for the next week, up to 12%. So 1 to 2 miles for the week is what I would add in. So this week, for example, I got 15.5 miles in. Earlier in June, I did get 20 miles for the week in. I had a long hike. And so, like the next week I could add, 2 miles, right? 2 to 3 miles. So what I'm doing, so this week I got 15.5 miles in for the week. So the next week I'm going to try to get 17 miles in. I do have a 12 to 14 mile hike planned. And then earlier on in the week, I'll do some smaller hikes of, 3 to 5 miles and even some walking in there as well. And then what I'm doing is, like I said, I'm doing weight training. Right now I'm doing about 3 days a week, simply because I'm just trying to maintain some of the muscle that I have. And also I am prioritizing protein when I am eating each day. So what I'm trying to do right now, and it's hard because I'm tall, so I weigh a little bit more, but what I'm trying to do is get 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight of protein each day. So, for somebody that weighs 130 pounds or wants to weigh 130 pounds, you would get 130 pounds of or 130 grams of protein for the day. So I obviously weigh more than that. So trying to get a lot more protein in. So I'm really focusing on getting that protein in, eating vegetables, low glycemic fruits, good fats, that kind of thing. I do have treats. I certainly have treats in there, but that is what I'm doing right now for nutrition, and it's really working. I feel really strong. I feel really good. I'm sleeping well. I'm drinking about a gallon of water per day. I feel really good. So my training for June was a little sporadic just because I had a few things going on, and I think I did good. My goal was really to get to and maintain a solid base of 8 to 10 miles. Like I said, I'm about 15 weeks out, so starting about 12 weeks out is really where I'll start ramping up the mileage. I am a year and a half out of a broken tibia and fibula, and I had surgery on that, and I had a lot of damage to my knee done, just during surgery. Now, I shouldn't say it's damage, it's just the effects of the surgery itself. So I've really had to do a lot of extra work, I think, to just get myself back up to an 8 to 10 mile base. I think I did my first 10-mile hike in March. It's the last day of June right now. So my first 10-mile hike, I actually accidentally pressed record and had my phone in my pocket, and you can hear me going, "Oh my God, oh my God." It wasn't good. So now I feel like I've had 3 solid months of hiking between 8 and 10 miles, sometimes 12 miles. So I really feel like I have that really good base. So then what I did is I just took this sheet of paper here and I made myself a 12-week training plan. So I'm 15 weeks out, so I'm working up to getting up to being ready to start that 12-week training plan. So the training plan for myself includes walking lunges. I really need to work on building up my leg strength, my individual leg strength. So I'm working on walking lunges, adding 10% of miles, 10 to 12% of miles each week. I'm doing 3 days of weightlifting. A lot of people say that they don't do any weightlifting in their training for the Grand Canyon. I am doing it because I want to do the fitness competition after the Grand Canyon, and plus I just like weightlifting, so I'm not going to stop doing it. And then I'll add in just kind of what I feel like for the day. So if I want to go swimming, I'll go swimming. If I want to ride my Peloton, I'll do that. I do yoga. I don't necessarily count yoga as part of my sort of fitness regime. While certainly you can build up fitness doing that, I really view it as something more for my mental health, and then also just the balance piece to it of what I've needed to do to get my balance back after breaking my leg and then having surgery on my leg. So my knee and my ankle strength really suffered from that, and yoga has really helped with that. So I don't necessarily view it as sort of a workout. It's really more like something I just enjoy doing, so I do it. Okay. So like I said, 15 weeks out, I am traveling for 3 weeks when the 12 weeks starts. So I probably won't get it in perfectly. Nothing is ever perfect. I always kind of add in a little bit more into my plan, knowing that I probably won't get it all done. And I think the saying is something like, if you shoot for the stars, even if you miss, you land on the moon, or if you, whatever, shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you land among the stars, something like that, right? So I kind of set the bar high for myself, knowing that I probably am not going to get everything done. But even if I get 80% of it done, it's still really good. Okay. So that's kind of how I'm viewing this training plan. And even those 3 weeks while I'm traveling, let's just try to get as much movement in as I can, and making sure that I'm doing the things I need to do to have time on my feet for hiking, for walking, and then just, making sure that I'm maintaining the muscle that I have. So what I did is I wrote it up in this handy dandy spreadsheet here, this paper. I do need to type it up. I did promise some of my friends that I would get it to them too, so they could take it. But like I said, I really just made this for myself based on where I know that I am and the goals that I have going forward. So Mondays are doing some walking lunges. Tuesdays and Thursdays are getting in some miles. I'll do a full day weight training on Mondays. Tuesdays and Thursdays getting in some miles. Wednesday is going to be a lower body day plus some time on the step mill. That is one thing I'm doing a little bit more of this time around when I'm preparing for the Grand Canyon, is getting on the step mill. I did a lot of hiking up and downhill, but there weren't steps. So you could kind of, even if you were super tired, you could just kind of drag your leg up. when you're getting yourself out of the canyon, there's big steps, and some of these steps can be like 18 to 24 inches high. You physically have to pick your leg up. So you're using a lot of hip flexor strength, and I lost a lot of hip flexor strength just being on the couch for 5 to 6 months. So I'm really going to spend a lot of time on that step mill, and then doing other things like leg raises, knee raises, that kind of thing while doing my training session. Even with my walking lunges, I'll do the lunge and then, you know, bring my leg up, a knee raise. So that'll help with the hip flexor strength. So Wednesday is going to be some step mill day. Thursday is going to be more miles. Friday will be an upper body workout, because Saturday is going to be like the longer hiking day or walking day, depending. I might do a walk, I might do a hike, just depends on who I'm going with, where I am physically in the world, that kind of thing. So I'm doing upper body on Friday just because I don't want to be sore for Saturday. I'm one of those that if I'm going to be sore from a workout, I'm sore 2 days later. So if I do the lower body on Wednesday, I will generally be sore on Friday. So that means I will be ready for a longer hike on Saturday. Sundays is my planned off day. I might do some yoga, I might go swimming, I might do a walk around the block, take my dog around the block. That might be what I'll do, but I'm just kind of building in some flexibility so I can still do some of the other things I like to do. Like I said, I do like to do swimming, I do like to do yoga, I like to ride my Peloton. Those are things I like to do. So that is the June recap, and then the plan going forward from 12 weeks out. So that's actually 3 weeks from now. So between now and 3 weeks from now, which would be 12 weeks out, is me working on getting up to being able to do 150 walking lunges without support. So right now what I'm doing, because my leg is still a little bit weak, what I'm doing is I'm hanging onto hiking poles, and I'm not like putting weight or anything on them. I'm just simply using them for balance, and I can do 100 of those. So the goal over the next 3 weeks is to get up to 100 walking lunges without having to hang on to anything. And like I said, it's mostly just my balance. So I'm working on that, keeping the base miles in. So like I said, this week I got 15 miles in, 15.5 miles in. Next week I want to get 17 miles in. I'll probably keep it right around there. And then while I'm gone for those 3 weeks, just trying to keep, even if I don't have one long hike or one long walk every single day, just trying to get some miles in so I can keep that mileage up for the week. And then weight training and doing some yoga. So that I'm really just kind of, trying to get into this routine of Mondays a full, Wednesdays a lower body, Fridays an upper body, and then getting the miles in through there. So I'm just like right now just trying to work on getting into that routine. So nutrition I think is a huge part of training for this. Like I said, I'm really prioritizing protein, 1 gram per pound of body weight, eating vegetables, eating low glycemic fruits, so things like raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, things like that. And then I also do have treats. I certainly have treats in there. I like peanut butter. It's one of my favorites. Peanut butter with chocolate or caramel, butterscotch, those kinds of things. So I am finding some good ways to still get that in. So like, for example, I found a thing on Instagram where somebody took butterscotch pudding mix, mixed it with the Fairlife protein powder or protein shake, whatever. It's made out of milk. Mix those two together and you have protein butterscotch pudding. So it's wonderful. So I'm just like finding ways to still enjoy those things, but also getting in additional protein. Nutrition's going really well. I feel really good. I feel strong. Like this is the first time in a year and a half I feel strong. Like I feel back to my old self. It's like a different version of my old self because my knee is still not the same. My ankle's still not the same, but we're getting there. We're working on it. And then sleep and hydration, I think, are getting there. I try to get a gallon of water in per day. I do live in Phoenix, so I do need a lot of water. So that's what I'm doing, is working on getting a gallon of water in per day. I'm pretty close to that almost every single day. And then sleep's been a challenge. My dog wakes me up because he wants to get under the blanket, and sometimes I just have difficulty falling back asleep. But I do rest. I don't get up and start doing stuff. So I do lay there and rest and make sure that my body's getting the recovery that it needs. So yeah, all right. So we're at 14 minutes here, so I'm going to call this a day. But what I want to do, like I said, I'm going to start doing a weekly check-in, just like what I would do with a coach if I were coaching somebody or if they were coaching me, the check-ins that I usually do with myself. Um, and then I think I'm going to start posting a daily sort of thing, like whatever it is I'm working on. I don't know. We're going to do 75 days of that, see where we go from there. It's going to be I think that's going to be a challenge just because I am traveling. I don't know what the internet's going to be like while we're driving and stuff, but I don't know. I'll figure it out. So, all right. Thank you. Talk to you soon.